Hello again, and welcome to the next phase of building your own rig. So the purpose of this is actually to walk you through how to build a very simple mining rig. And just to demonstrate, I have my lovely assistant Fran, who's going to show you how to build this rig. Now, Fran does not come from an electronics or a computer background, so the whole point is anybody can do this if you can follow instructions. Right, Fran?
Yep.
Okay, so what we've done so far, we've actually mounted the motherboard. So I put the standoffs and I screwed in the motherboard. Other than that, we really haven't done anything with this project. Just did that just to save a little bit of time. Now, Fran, the first thing I would like you to do is to remove the cap on the motherboard where the processor goes. Okay, so Fran, release that and push that back. Very good. Okay, you don't need that anymore. That's junk. Okay, now Fran, grab the processor, show everyone where the processor is, okay, and go ahead and place them very gently, make sure you don't bend any pins. Now, in this motherboard configuration, the Intel writing will be, it'll be facing as if you're looking from the PCIe slots. Very gently plop that in there, make sure you get that. Don't break a nail now, Fran, I know I'll get in trouble if you do that. Okay, so Fran has the CPU installed. The next phase is to install the cooling fan.
Yep.
Now, depending on your motherboard, Fran was going for the memory, which actually is the next step, which might not be a bad idea, but in this motherboard we have enough room that we can do the cooling fan. Hang on for a second, Fran. So you got to look where the CPU fan is going to go. Okay, which you're fine, but you need to turn it so the wire goes around the fan. That'll actually very easily. You don't want too much extra wire. Okay. So then with the fan, this is the fan that comes stock. Very gently push it down, and then you're going to rotate those once it's seated into the motherboard. Then you're going to rotate those 90 degrees. This is the fan that comes stock with the Celeron processor, and like I mentioned before, with the Celeron processor, you really don't need anything really overkill. It's plenty enough processor. It doesn't use much power. Now Fran is going to put that into the CPU, and that's not the right one. It's closer to. Look at the motherboard where it says CPU fan. Put your glasses on.
Okay. This right here.
Okay.
Right? I can't see. Yeah, that's what I had it in. Okay.
So Fran is now putting the wire into the CPU power fan, and that looks perfect. Okay. The next item we're going to install is we're going to install a 4 GB memory stick. This is the DIMM, and just go ahead and put that in slot number 2. So I've actually already read the manual, and with this particular motherboard, they recommend that if you only have a single stick, to put that in slot number 2. If you actually want to go with 8 gigabytes of RAM, then you put it in slot 1 and 2. So Fran already opened the connectors, and you need to push down, sweetie. Push on both ends of the memory sticks, and you'll actually hear a little pop, and you'll see the tabs come in. Very good. Okay, I could actually even hear that from way over here on the camera. Okay, very good, Brad. So the next step, we're going to go ahead and put the power switch onto the motherboard. So give me a second, and I will tell you which pins but you can go ahead and pull that out. No, sweetheart. This kind of. Okay, you'll notice that Fran moves like the Flash, and she got over to the other side of the rig. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add the optional power switch and reset button. Again, this is optional. I kind of like the little extra bells and whistles. So, Fran, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and separate the pairs so we make it very easy. Then we're going to be locating in this motherboard JFP1. So that gives you a little bit more room to work there, Fran. Okay, now I would like you to put the power LED plus, should be a single, into pin number 2 on JFP1. That should be in the first one in the back. Very good. Now I'd like you to put the power LED negative into pin 4, which is right next to that. Very good. Okay, the next set of pins that we're going to be is the power switch. and they will be in slot position pin number 6 and 8. So that'll be right next to the same two that you just put in. Okay. Now in pins 1 and 3, I want you to put the HDD LED pair.
Okay.
And the final is going to be the reset switch, which is in pins number 5 and 7. So that should complete it. And very good. So again, this is an optional. It just makes it easier to turn on and off the your rig. You can actually go without this, set it in your BIOS to boot every time you apply power. Just this makes it a little bit more elegant. What I also do is I wrap it around the leg of the frame just to get it out of the way. So just go around a few times. And then I use a tie wrap to finish it at the end. We'll do that a little bit later. Okay, to continue, we are now going to add the power supply. Like I said, on this one, I'm just using a 700 watt power supply because I'm only using 4 GPUs, and Fran's pointing out that the fan
Has to go on the outside.
go on the outside. Again, just remember, this is a open air rig. Cooling is important, and you're going to notice that this will put off quite a bit of heat. So what Fran is now putting in is the main power connection on the motherboard. Make sure you have the pins lined up properly, and later on we're going to actually secure the power supply, but for the time being, don't worry about it. We have a lot more connections to go there. Okay.
Okay, that's
Okay.
in.
Now you want to put the secondary power supply to the front of the motherboard. Okay, now Fran is going to add the second power supply. It's to the 8-pin connector that's to the front of the motherboard. Okay,
And they're in.
and now we have that in. And I will do a close-up when we have everything. Well, actually, this might not be a bad time. So just so you can see where we are, I'm going to take this camera, move it. Bear with me. You can actually see closer. Fran, can you point to where you just installed the main power connector? You can also point where you put the secondary power connector. Point to where the CPU was installed. Everyone should know that. The memory. Very good. And the connectors for the power switch. Very good. Okay. So we're going to go back and we're going to be adding the SSD, which has the Ethos already installed. Okay, so the next section is to add the operating system, which I already have preloaded to this SSD drive. Again, my preference is Ethos, just because it's so easy, easy to use, and everything is updated on a regular basis. I'm actually very, very impressed with the work they do at Ethos. And I do not get any affiliate marketing from Ethos, by the way. Actually, right now I don't get any affiliate marketing for anything. Now, I'm actually doing this video to help some of my friends in the crypto club I'm currently in, just to show how simple it is to build this, and hopefully it'll help some other people. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and install the SSD drive into the SATA 1 port. And Fran, you have to put the tip facing up. Very good. Okay, now Fran, I need you to grab one of the power supply cables. Now the power supply, you're fine, you can actually leave it just like that.
Backwards.
Okay, so the lovely Carol Merrill is moving things around. Hope we don't get a zonk out of this. Anyways, and hopefully that's not trademarked. We're going to go ahead and install the power supply that's going to drive the SSD card and also the riser cards. So this is a modular power supply, and Fran's going to insert the two. There you go, that's one. And go ahead and install it, connect it to your SSD. Okay, so the lovely Fran is going to add the power to the SSD drive. She's going to line up the keys and push gently. Okay, excellent. Okay. Okay, now Fran, go ahead and add the additional power supply cables that we're going to be using. The additional for the risers, and then 2 for the GPUs themselves. So the GPUs do require external power. Just about every modern GPU does nowadays. And they go down the bottom part of the modular power supply. And just put those off to the side, because in just a moment we're going to be adding the GPUs. So that's going to be the next section along with the risers. Okay, so now we have all the power supply cables connected. We have the SSD. Fran, what we're also going to do in just a second, we're going to go ahead and tie wrap that SSD card down to one of the cross slats. I'll actually do that in just a second. Okay, so the next section, Fran is going to add a piece of wood that we have cut. It's 20 inches by 1 inch, and what this is this is so the GPU can rest. The other way, sweetheart. There you go. Okay, so bring that up. Now Fran's going to add the tie wraps to both ends. Very good. I get a little nervous when she handles the GPUs because they are a little pricey. The wood, if she drops it, that's okay. GPUs, 2 hands. And Fran is securing the tie wraps. And obviously when we complete this, we're going to trim the ends of the tie wraps. Yeah, I think Fran struggles with tie wraps more than the CPU. That's fine. Okay. Now, that's fine. That's fine. The whole purpose of this is just so you have a resting place for your GPU. So Fran has one of the GTX 1060s, and these are actually pretty little cards. First time I've done one that's in all white. So what we're going to do now is Fran's going to add the riser, and if you can come closer to the camera a little bit, Fran, so people can see. Go ahead and add the riser. And the MOLEX connector to the other power supply connector is already attached. So you actually heard a click. Very good. So then put that in the slot that's closest to me. Up top, way up top. Okay, there you go. There you go. Now look at where your connector is. So you want to make sure that so you might have gone a little too far. Okay, so now Fran is going to go ahead and add the riser to the PCIe slot. And I prefer that to be in the one that Fran is pushing it in, which is actually the first long PCIe slot. And then she's going to connect the USB to the riser. So I would go under the wood. So there you go. Okay, so make sure you have it keyed the proper way.
Now I do.
Okay. Now apply your power to the riser. And it is keyed, so there really is, okay. So we actually have one completely set up. So Fran, now we're going to go ahead and, oh, I'm sorry, yes, very good. We have to apply the external power for the video card. And now we have one completely done. Now we're just going to rinse and repeat for the next 3 cards. And I'm going to aid Fran because we're doing this in Florida and it is January, and that's one thing I was hoping that this video would demonstrate, building a rig outside. So hopefully this will differentiate us from the other people. So bear with us, and we will, through the magic of video, we will do the other 3 cards.
And now that you got them all in.
Oh, and go ahead, Ms. Fran. And so through the miracle video, we finished installing the other 4 graphics cards. Now, the other 3 graphics cards. So we have a total of 3 graphics cards, or 4 graphics cards. So the lovely Fran will go ahead and clean up, do a little housekeeping here. You gotta squeeze a little harder. And we're going to do the same thing on the other end, just to make things a little nicer. But the whole point is just within a short period of time, we were able to put together this this rig. I will include all of the parts on the YouTube channel, so in case you want to purchase your own, you can see what I used. If you have any questions, feel free to post a question. My next video will actually be the power on. So depending on whether we have fire trucks to our house tonight, I'll be posting these videos within the next couple days. So we will be doing the smoke test tonight. Unfortunately, our government just shut down today, so hopefully we didn't have anything to do with the fire and police. But if you see this on the news, then you can say you've seen this video and the lovely Fran put it together. So I actually deny all liability.
Oh boy, thanks.
Okay, so take a bow, Fran. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick close-up at what we have done. I apologize for the jitteriness. Okay, we can see the rig. Like I said, I kind of like those white GPUs. And again, thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of our videos.